So we've managed to stay together for one whole year. Not only that, most of us are meditating daily. That is an amazing, amazing achievement. Not only for you, but for me. Because that was the purpose of starting this group. That I can give you something that's like your life insurance policy. It is there for you right through your life. And then you become ambassadors of the same, because you impart this to your children and to people around you. It is not a secret to be kept. This is not a cult. This is a group that is, very luckily, it's like minds that have come together. And you've taken to meditation because in some lifetime you were meditators. You must have been. Because it takes several lifetimes to really get on the spiritual path, and only a chosen few learn that the answers that they seek are not outside in this world, but lie within. So consider yourself very blessed. Because now there's only abundance and joy and happiness in front of you. Nothing else. I don't know if you all watched the video that when I spoke for the other anniversary. I have enumerated all the things that I keep talking about as reminders of things that I have told you and that you can use to just be happy. It's a good video. Watch it, share it with your friends, put it on your timeline, like the video on YouTube. This is the way people hear and people know, and more people understand that there is a way. There is a very, very nice way. And life doesn't have to be about putting up with stuff. Because what is tolerance? Tolerance is just putting up. By being a tolerant person, you're not elevated. In fact, you actually have gone down. Because you think you're so fabulous that all you need to do is tolerate other beliefs, put up with other things. Yours is the best. My way is the only way to salvation. If you don't have Jesus in your heart, you're an infidel. If Allah isn't your savior, you're a kafir. If you're not a Hindu, then you're nothing. The rest is rubbish. Hinduism is the only thing. Isn't that what we believe? Isn't that what makes people radical and increase fundamentalism? It saddens me when I see people saying things like build a wall and don't let anybody else come in. You ask a man at the checkpoint, are you a Muslim? And he'll have a beard and a cap and he'll say no, and you'll let him in. Or if he says, yes, I'm a Muslim, so sorry, you can't come. Maybe the Indians that lived here should have done that. History would have taken a different turn. Are you white? You can't come here. They were not merely tolerant, they were all embracing. All embracing. And it's not that the Native Americans have been wiped out. They come back again and again, and they are the all embracing in each one of us. If you are all embracing, perhaps you were Native American in some life. Because once you have reached that stage where you embrace everyone else, you cannot become a person of hate. It is impossible. It's like saying, I see the light, but I prefer to turn off every light and stay in a dark room. You'll never want to do that. You flip the switch and light has come into your life and you realize that I am no better than my neighbor or the person who lives down the street or the person who dresses in a salwar kameez or wears a turban or has a beard or has red hair or blonde hair or blue eyes. I never thought I would reach a stage where I understand what it means to embrace everybody. I've not reached a stage. I know I'm still overcoming my own intolerance. But it only comes from awareness. That you realize, what are you doing? When you say, my daughter cannot marry a Muslim, why? Why? Why can't your daughter marry a Muslim? Why can't your daughter marry a Christian? What is religion? What is faith? It is just somewhere people go to find a little peace. Why do we give it so much importance? Why do we dislike people because they belong to a particular faith? It has been done for years, for generations. Ever since men got together and lived in groups and started living a settled life in villages and farming and cultivating. My village is better than your village. It reminds me of when I used to carpool and my children and this Romanian family used to carpool together. And every day the question would be, my father is better than your father, my cousin is taller than your cousin. And this boy finally told me his father has built a bridge from USA to Romania. And Lavanya couldn't beat that. That's what it is, right? That's what it is. You're saying, you're rejecting everything. Today I had a long conversation with one of my very good friends who was shocked that I have a Christmas tree every year. I don't light Hanukkah candles, but I have gone to Muhammad Ali Road to eat at the end of Rosa. I have gone many times to that. But if I have not lit Hanukkah candles, it's because nobody has invited me into that culture. I don't have enough friends that have included me in that culture. But Christianity, I said the Lord's Prayer before I learned Gajananam. I said that in school. Every day I sang a different hymn. My husband read from the Bible. It's like reading any other book. Never felt that we were doing anything great or small. It was just part of life. And we have to normalize our feelings towards others. It is these extreme feelings. I love Sikhs, but I hate Muslims. I love candy, but I hate fruit. We have these extremes of feelings towards things. What meditation does is it brings things into balance. You neither love something too much, nor do you hate it. And that is what Krishna says. Stay away from the opposites. Because if you feel incredible joy, guaranteed you're going to be feeling pain pretty soon. If you're just totally in love with this person, is obsessing you day and night, in 6 months you're going to be filing for divorce. Anything that comes in extremes, it's like a pendulum, it swings to the opposite. So we don't need to be tolerant. How are we better than anyone else? In what way are you better? Do you have an extra eye, an extra hand, another brain, some special blood in your body that makes you so much better? And what about those that want to be included in the circle? I sometimes feel astonished what people will do to be included in a particular circle, to join a country club, to join that group, to be in the popular gang in school, to be the one included in all the invitations, all the parties, all the weddings. Doesn't make much sense. Why don't we include everybody? Raju says, when Karunya gets married, we'll give them Coke and samosa and call everybody. Like they do in India. What were the receptions in India? 1,500 people came to my reception. Gave food like you can't imagine. Those were different days. I know everything costs a lot more. But we want to be included in every list, in every exclusive group. Because we're not even accepting of who we are. We're defining ourselves by our associations. And who do we associate with? A small group. Tamil Sangam, Kannada, Kota, whatever Jewish Maratha Mandal, whatever they call themselves, IRCC. You won't find anybody from IRCC coming for a Tamil Sangam program. They don't even put up with madrasis. Within ourselves, there is so much intolerance. And we call ourselves a tolerant society. We have deeply held prejudices. And that's largely a result of our culture. The generation that lived through the riots during partition will be fearful and dislike Muslims. You cannot persuade them otherwise. The generation that are children of Holocaust victims will hate anything non-Jewish. They feel the pain. But more than that, it comes out of fear. What are we scared about letting Syrian refugees in? We're scared of dying. Really? You think you're going to live forever? I thought that when I was 15. I thought I would live forever. And just because you let in a handful of Syrian refugees, you think that immediately every building in this country is going to blow up? This country was formed by immigrants, people of different cultures. Yet we all settled here and continued to live in our ghettos. Not mixing with this group, not mixing with that group, because we think we're better than them. Or we think we're inferior to them. There is a complex of inferiority or superiority. and examine your connections. How much have you integrated into this very society? We are tolerant people, we are good people, all of us here in this room. But we stick to our kind, what we believe is our kind. People with our values. We don't mingle. But when I grew up in Bombay, I had 6 people in my group. Each belonged to a different religion. I'm not kidding you. One was Sikh, one was Christian, one was Jewish, one was Parsi and Hindu. I didn't have a Muslim in the group, but I did have close Muslim friends. Truly tolerant was growing up in Bombay in the 70s. If you've lived there, you know what I'm talking about. You have your Muslim friends burning crackers on Diwali, and Christmas you go and you have Christmas pudding in their homes on Sundays, and on Parsi New Year you get called for Dhansak, and all my friends were there giving Haldi Kumkum on Diwali, on Navaratri, dressed up nicely. That was real, not just tolerance, but just an all-embracing acceptance. When you accept everything and everyone around you, you realize that there's going to be differences. I mean, even my own hand, my fingers are not the same. It's my hand. Yet I want my thumb to be like my middle finger. It's not going to be, but I accept it for what it is. And I love it. I can do this when the two come together. You like that, huh? Yeah, we don't, that is the problem. If we all thought that every religion and every person was like part of us, that belonged to us, there would be no need to tolerate anything. Tolerate is when you have to put up with something. Like a mother-in-law. I'm kidding. You can't do anything about it. The best thing really would be to embrace her, if you can, with everything that she brings. We're all different. And yet we're all the same. We're all the same. The same divine energy flows through each one of us. So when you codify yourself, when you bring that divine energy into you, really into you, and feel it, then the feeling that spreads from you is one just of love. There is no room here for any hatred, any disparity, any dislike. So next time when you think of a tolerant society, or what you're tolerating, examine what you're feeling. You want to move beyond just tolerance. Tolerance is a very shallow creed. Tolerance is negative. Tolerance breeds casteism, differences. Tolerance says that I am different from everybody else. And while on the one hand, you are unique, like the fingers on your hand, on the other, you are part of the body. You cannot do without each one of these fingers. Take one away and see how hard it is. We need all of these to put things in perspective. And we come into this society, a lot of our kids are now marrying out of our communities. And it requires a lot of tolerance. But mere tolerance just breeds resentment. Think if you accepted your Jewish son-in-law as your own and you embraced their traditions, the culture of your family would grow. Nothing is lost. No two families have the same culture. You are South Indian, you are South Indian, you are South Indian, you are South Indian. We are all South Indian. But do we have the same culture? Do we do things the same way? Eat the same food? Follow the same rituals? We're all so different. So what does it matter? Embrace it all. And in embracing everything, what you'll find is a lot of relief. Because whenever you think, I accept all those things, but I can't be part of it. There's something going on inside of your head that's making you feel different. And that's what in Shankaracharya, what is Advaita? That everything is one. There are no differences. It's all energy. It's all matter. It's all consciousness. Don't just use the words. Have the experience of the words. Go out of your comfort zone and the things that you tolerate, embrace them and see. Your daughter's not behaving in the way that you want her to. You're putting up with it. But you don't like it. And there's so much conflict. It's like the unstoppable force against the immovable wall. Try accepting. And give your head a rest. Give your head a rest. All these unnecessary thoughts going on in our heads. We want an exclusive group for lunch. Only we can be there. Nobody else can join this group. It's exclusive. Better than the others. We don't need it to be spoiled. We can't embrace anybody new. Anybody else. They're different. All the things that we do in our daily lives. Not one of us can really claim that we are truly embracing. We are tolerant. Think about that. Resolve that this year we're going to think about those things and raise ourselves to a higher standard. And it's really simple. One is simpler than two. When there's one, there's only one. It's really simple. When there's 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, there's so many numbers to count.